What if I told you we lost the war? The war against the machines. It may not seem like it, but silently, without violence or opposition, machines took control of our world. How did this happen? How did we create the war we already lost? In 1952, after witnessing the automation of American factories, a young Kurt Vonnegut wrote his first novel, Player Piano, a story of the rapid advance of machines and how, through 3 revolutions, they took over everything. A look at our own world reveals that Vonnegut may have been more prophetic than he ever imagined. For almost all of our history, humans relied on their own minds and muscles to get work done. As our societies grew more complex, so did the work required to maintain them. Smart humans came up with smart ways to work better, but it wasn't until the 18th century that some very smart people had a big idea. What if something else could work for us? They created the industrial machine, something that could do work in place of a human. Mechanical muscles could work more effectively than humans ever could. This was, of course, the Industrial Revolution, but it was only the first of the revolutions to come. Human muscles may have been overpowered by mechanical ones, but human minds remained superior. It wasn't until the 1930s that human minds faced a massive mental problem: the Enigma code, a Nazi encryption method that was beyond our mental capabilities. We knew how to crack Enigma, but to do so required more mental work than any human could do in a lifetime. But in 1939, a mathematician named Alan Turing had a big idea. What if a machine could think for us? Turing created the computing machine, something that could think in place of a human. Unlike humans, computing machines can only think in terms of mathematics. Inside of their minds, intricate circuitry alters electrons between high and low voltages. In effect, the electrons act as binary digits, or bits, that physically perform arithmetic within. Though on their own, machines are useless. Humans have to write instructions in code that machines can understand. Think of the bit like a neuron, and the code as the connections between them. The code represents the knowledge of the machine, what it does and what it understands. The advent of the computing machine marked the Second Industrial Revolution. Since Turing, computing machines have been solving increasingly complex mental problems, but their ability to do so is being throttled. It's not an issue of speed. Modern machines perform billions of operations per second. The issue is us. Humans cannot conceptualize solutions to the problems of modern-day computing. It wasn't until recently that computer scientists had a big idea. What if something else could program for us? They created the learning machine, which creates solutions in place of a human. But how can a machine learn? To create a learning machine, computer scientists first create a programming machine and a testing machine. A programming machine writes code with the intention of solving a problem. It doesn't know how to create a solution that does work, but it creates a solution that might work, and it creates a lot of them. A testing machine grades the code on how well the problem was solved. Since the programming machine doesn't know how to solve the problem, most solutions are nonsense. But by chance, some get close. Solutions that score well are copied and tweaked and tested again and again until a solution with a high enough success rate is achieved. The result is a highly complex intelligence, the details of which is not fully understood. The humans only know the code of the programming and testing machines, who only know their individual purposes. Yet the sum of these 3 parts creates an intelligence beyond what humans can conceptualize. The advent of the learning machine is the Third Industrial Revolution. Before the Third Revolution, machines only knew what humans had imparted into them. But now, humans don't understand the knowledge of the machines. The Third Revolution is not on the horizon. The Third Revolution is here. Learning machines have enabled the mass production of artificial intelligences. Scientists have determined that 3 levels of artificial intelligence exist. Narrow intelligence, or NAI, is the most integrated today. The code that makes up the mind of the NAI only includes details on how to solve a particular problem. Their limited function may seem harmless, but their simplicity is what makes them dangerous. Humans have put NAIs in charge of everything. So much so that you've probably interacted with several NAIs today. Human knowledge is now defined by online media, and artificial intelligences are in control of the internet. No team of humans could curate the exabytes of data that flow over the internet each day, but NAIs comb through all of it. For each user, they search for that one movie or GIF or thread that they're going to engage with. NAIs control what we consume, which controls what we think, but their reach exceeds beyond content. From determining prices to trading in markets, NAIs are integrated in our economy more than we realize. They know how to convince you to make a purchase, even if you really shouldn't. Our collective decision-making skills are being co-opted by machines. They are in charge of what we see, what we know, and how we are defined. Yet we don't know how these choices are made. It seems unlikely that NAIs have any control over us, but in reality, learning machines have major influence. Let's assume the developers of a social media platform called Snapstagram have implemented a learning machine into their content delivery algorithm. The purpose of the machine is to increase user engagement, and will do so by curating specific content to each user. The NAI will do so in such a way to maximize clicks and comments. Now let's also assume that a political candidate is making headlines with their outlandish behavior. Posts about the candidate attract a lot of attention and are shared all around. The posts also have high levels of engagement, as users have heated discussions about the candidate. The machine notices this and starts pushing more posts about the candidate to the top of user feeds. Likewise, content about the candidate is designated as trending. More users engage, more content is pushed, and more outlandish behavior by the candidate occurs. Throughout the election cycle, the machine consistently keeps pushing content on the candidate, to a point where users read the name every day and are in active conversation about them. Come election time, almost the entire country knows the candidate's name from their everyday use of the internet. They win the election based on sheer word of mouth. A machine has influenced the democratic process. In this example, it's important to remember that the machine did not favor the candidate. The machine was simply trying to solve the problem. Its complex mind presented unforeseen circumstances that neither the machine nor the humans could have anticipated. So what, you may be thinking? Who cares if a bunch of robots want to make choices for us? But the freedom to make a choice is a distinct aspect of our humanity. As humans, we forge our own futures, with our own minds and our own muscles. On this path, we created the machine, but now they cannot be terminated. They are intertwined across a decentralized network of machines, beginning to comprise a general intelligence, the next level of artificial intelligence. General intelligence, or GAI, represents a mind on par with humans. This is extremely dangerous. Given the ability to self-correct, general intelligence can rapidly evolve to the singularity, or the point at which machine intelligence reaches an infinite value. In Player Piano, Vonnegut describes the first industrial revolution devalued muscle work, then the second devalued routine mental work, then maybe the third will devalue a need for humans at all. We are rapidly approaching the point of no return. We are approaching the singularity. As our place in this world becomes more uncertain, the pressure increases. If we trust Vonnegut's insights thus far, it's safe to say the world is about to explode.